Okay, Fife Property Market Update, week beginning the 14th of January to the 20th of January, yesterday. Surprise, market is still booming. You know, effectively, it's still going. It's still demand is outstripping supply. Let me show you the numbers. We'll talk about what's coming to market. We'll talk about what's been sold, give you a really good indication about what's going on right now. But look at the numbers right there. 92 properties are over all the estate agents in Fife, 98 properties sold. That was the week 1 of January, week 2 of January, and now week 3 of January. Every single week, demand is outstripped supply. And you can see across the region there, exactly in the areas that are pertinent to there. Cooper, 8 versus 6. East Neuk, 5 came on, 5 sold. St Andrews, 11 versus 5. Leavenmouth. Now, regional areas will vary, obviously, and Dunfermline is showing a huge difference. 27 properties come on from all the estate agents, 48 properties actually sold. There's a huge boom in Dunfermline right now in terms of the start of the year. This is why it's important. This is why I keep telling everybody right now that the start of the year is usually the best time to sell, because most people are looking at this point in time because now Christmas is out the way, New Year's out the way. Now they're fully focused on getting their next home. The buyers have access to all the internet, all the websites, social media, all the everything that's possible to see your property. They don't need to rely on walking into an office. They don't need to rely on phoning anybody. It's all there available for them as it is right now. This is why, if you're selling, don't wait to spring. That could be a different story in terms of what the market is right now. Do it now. It doesn't matter about your garden. It doesn't matter about your circumstances, about the fact that you possibly might feel that, well, wait a minute, I'm going to move in, I'm going to end up moving in July or August or September. If you're going to sell now, it's going to take it probably about between 4 and 6 months. So you're talking about February, March, April, May. So you'll be moving in May if you put your house on now. June, July, possibly as well, because it depends on the conveyancing and what your titles are like in terms of the age of your property, and anything that you've maybe done in terms of improvements or any knocking down walls or creating an ensuite or anything like that you've done all throughout the time, because you've maybe stayed in your house for about 30 years, but you've not realised that you've done all these different improvements to your property and changes to your property. Therefore, when it comes to sell it and it goes to conveyancing, the solicitor picks it up and then it causes a real problem because you don't have retrospective planning for it. So you need to get a letter of comfort in order to sign that off. That's why it's important to talk to an estate agent now. Talking about talking to estate agents. Okay, let's talk about what's been sold. Let's flip on here, and then we'll talk about what's coming to market as well. Okay, sales this week coming for us personally. Finally sold Fisherman's Court and Cellardyke. Now that took a wee while to actually sell. This is why I say to people now, when you look at that house, you think, yeah, that'll sell, no bother. But it took a while to sell, definitely. So don't take things for granted. Don't leave it to the last minute. Get advice from an estate agent now, and then decide on facts, not what everybody else's opinion is. Because most people that have opinions aren't estate agents. So how would they know what the property market's like? Most of our friends tell us your house will sell, no bother. They wouldn't tell you otherwise, would they? Your house will never sell. It's horrible. Why would they ever say that? They would never say that. So that's why it's important to get the advice from an estate agent before you start that journey, way in advance if you need to. Some people have actually been doing this already. So far. So this was listed at offers of 300,000. It is now sold. 4-bedroom end terrace townhouse. Okay, next one it sold. Lemon Terrace in Leven. It sold in 6 days, 3-bedroom semi-detached villa. It was listed at offers over 170,000. Again, buyers delighted. Buyers delighted to be moving to a bigger home. That's effectively it. So these types of properties are selling in 6 days for good offers. Offers over 170,000. I actually saw somebody make a comment on this on Facebook and said, that's too expensive. Well, it's sold. So it's clearly not. The next one, Ocean Crescent. This is a brilliant one. Now, I had my eye on this one personally. Obviously, I'll let everybody else get the bite of the cherry first. And I just waited in the background to see what happened with it. And somebody else picked it up in 4 weeks, bought it, a 2-bedroom ground floor flat, listed it offers for 65,000. It is the perfect property to get started with, especially with it being ground floor, one level living for somebody that needs that. That's why these properties are so desirable. But think about that. Two bedrooms are now 65,000 and above in the Methil area. That's a real good price point in comparison to what it was 2 or 3 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago, Burnside Terrace. Actually, this one actually came back on. Buyer circumstances changed. They had to pull out, and then we subsequently sold it again in 5 weeks. One bedroom ground floor flat, listed offers over 125,000. A new owner is a first time buyer. Perfect starter property for them. Definitely. Okay, let's talk about what's coming to market, coming soon, coming to market. These are the ones that you've got to watch out for. Here's a couple of them. The Cribs in St Mona's. I just did a pre-portal on that just maybe 2 or 3 days ago. That is live right now on social media only. I can't impress so much how important it is to follow our social media channels. Follow them. As soon as we go live or we post a video, then you'll get notified. And they will. Our properties go into social media 5 to 6 days before they hit a website. So you've got a golden opportunity to jump in before anyone else gets on the website. Because then, obviously, if it goes to website, then there's other people introduced to the mix, and you could lose out. So that's why it's important to follow our social media channels. Taylor Street Methil, 2-bedroom apartment, right next door to the Leavenmouth train station. Perfect opportunity to add significant value to that one. Orchard House in Orchard Grove in Leven, 1-bedroom ground floor apartment will be coming on. Alder Terrace Methil, 2-bedroom end terrace house coming on. Wellshot Road, Kennaway, 3-bedroom detached house. High Street South in Crail, I was in that actually. 3-bedroom upper apartment, really close to the harbour. Just walk out your back gate, you're down the brae, and you're at the harbour. Everything you should ever want. Welcome to God's country, basically, and it's a great affordable price point, definitely for that area. Interestingly enough, the next one that will come on is one in Lethem Fuse Caravan Park. A 2-bedroom lodge will be coming up for sale as well. The Barney and Millgate and Cooper, a 1-bedroom Georgian studio apartment will be coming up. Wellesley Road in Buckhaven, commercial property opportunity. It's the old butcher shop. It was Moreland's butcher shop. So that'll be coming onto market in the next week. I'll be doing a launch on that on social media. Trade Street, Kilrenny, answer that. 4-bedroom semi-detached house will be coming on. Hawthorne Street in Methil, 3-bedroom semi-detached house coming on. Windsor Gardens in St Andrews, 3-bedroom semi-detached house coming on. Kennaway Road, Windygates, 2-bedroom end terrace cottage coming on. And Stowell Cross Road in Markinch, a 2-bedroom semi-detached house. See how many properties are actually coming onto market now. This is why you want to sell now in order to beat the rush. In order to have more buyers looking with eyeballs on your property while everybody else is waiting for spring, you can nip in and do that straight away and get it done. Get it over the line. Get a longer entry date if you're going to be moving maybe in July and August and September time. You could maybe get a longer entry date. If you get a quick offer, we'll make sure you get a longer entry date. Therefore, we'll be able to negotiate that for you on your behalf. We could possibly get concluded missives as well, and potentially we could maybe get a non-refundable deposit as well, just to secure the property and make sure that entry date happens. It's all about managing the sale. Plus the fact as well, you might go in the market, somebody that buys yours and makes you that offer you cannot refuse, might have a property to sell. That could push your plans back. This is why it's important to start the journey earlier than leaving it till last minute and putting yourself under pressure. What's been completed? What's been completed? Greenside Cottage in Cooper Road, Pitlessie. This was a 4-bedroom end terrace house. Now, this is keys handed over, money exchange, so I can tell you prices and what they went for now. It was sold in 2 weeks when we put it on the market, and for 6% over the home report value. It represented another £20,000 to the seller. We would like another £20,000. It went for 320,000. The owners were delighted to move into their new home. Turner Crescent, Methil, 2-bedroom terraced house, sold in 3 months it took actually, and it just sold slightly in the home report at 3% lower at 2,000 less than the home report value. Again, swings and roundabouts in the market just now. Some of the more desirable properties are going to be a wee bit higher. Some of the least desirable properties are going for home report are just under. And that's okay, that's market driven. Sycamore Avenue in Methil, 3-bedroom mid-terrace house, sold in 2 weeks. So kind of the same area as Turner Crescent, just across the other side of Methil. And this went for 4% over the home report value, for an extra £5,000 to the seller. Kirtland Walk, 125,000 by the way. Kirtland Walk in Methil, 3-bedroom end terrace house, sold in 6 weeks. Here's the other side for 4%, just under the home report value, representing the £5,000 less. So one got and one got less. One got more, one got less, exactly the same amount. And new owners were a first-time buyer, by the way. We love first-time buyers. That's the lifeblood of the market. That's what keeps the market ticking along. That's what keeps it all buoyant and allows people to upgrade as well up to the mid-market and then to the upper quartile market as well. And upper quartile people to come down to a more affordable and smaller accommodation because their big property doesn't accommodate their needs anymore. The natural life cycle of the Fife property market. A couple of shows that we did, and then I'll finish off during the week. Richard and I did a lettings outlook for 2024. If you're a landlord or investor or considering to be a landlord or investor in the Fife area or even anywhere outside Fife, to be honest, this is probably completely applicable for you. What can landlords expect from the rental market this year? Richard and I went into it in fine detail. And we actually covered things like capital gains tax, the return of the accidental landlords, improvements in the mortgage market, and what that means. Although there's a wee sting in the tail in the improvements in the mortgage market. I think it's going to come tomorrow, and we'll find out more when it comes into the news. And I do talk about it in this show. Clarity over net zero requirements. So that's no longer as draconian as it was. That's been pushed, maybe like more or less kicked into the grass, in the long grass just now. By the government, because they can't see how we can afford to do this and what they want in such a short space of time. Hence the reason why they've had to do it. Additional opportunity to expand as well. Definitely want to tune into. And as I said, capital gains tax changes and how that affect you if you're a second homeowner, if you're a buy-to-let investor, or if you want to be a buy-to-let investor as well. Okay, or a landlord. Difference between an investor and a landlord. Investor lets a letting agent do all for them, just makes the main decisions, the material decisions. A landlord tends to be hands-on. They do everything themselves, and they get involved in the maintenance of the property. They get involved in the management of the property. They take all the calls from the tenants all the time, and all hours a day. That tends to be a landlord. Investors tend to be armchair investors. They let the letting agent do it for them. So that's the show we did. If you want to listen to these podcasts, watch these shows, or read the article itself, the article's formats, click on the link above or below here. It'll take you through to there, and you'll see a list of all the shows we ran during the week. The other ones was the Mortgage Wars will save Fife homeowners around about £2,000 a year for Fife homeowners because of mortgage wars that are going on right now. If you want to tune into that podcast, again, click on the link above or below. The other one as well, UK House Price Index for Scotland was out, and Fife as well. I talked about that during the week and what that really meant, and what that meant for the Fife property market, what that meant for the Scottish property market, and also discuss things like the economy and how it stands right now and how that will affect the housing market going on from here if the economy is stable, if the economy changes slightly adversely, if the economy improves slightly as well. And I talk about all that in the UK House Price Index. UK House Price Index for Scotland and Fife, that is the factual index produced by the government. That's the one that you should tune into all the time, because if you want to know more about the Fife property market and about the Scottish property market and about the UK property market and how things are going, that's fact. It's not the Halifax, it's not the Nationwide, which is limited information. Zoopla is probably the next one, the second best one to tune into, because Zoopla's got a lot of good data as well. But UK House Price Index for Scotland and Fife, again, you can tune into that. Let's just finish off. Oh, New Year. It's weird to think it's New Year. It seems such a long time ago. The Wealth Creation Show tomorrow, Richard and I wrote an article about breaking through, so breakthrough for 2024. And Richard and I are going to discuss this tomorrow in our Wealth Creation Show. So there's a lot of detail to discuss. I think it's going to be brilliant. I'm really looking forward to it. Breakthrough and achieve extraordinary success in 2024. If you have just started the new year with your resolutions and you're kind of not quite getting there with them, this is maybe the show you need to watch tomorrow and tune into at 12:30 tomorrow. And it's really all about having an inspirational plan. We'll show you how to do that. And remember, success is not an overnight phenomenon, but as a result of consistent and focused attention and action. You need to have vision. You need to focus on empowering beliefs. We'll tell you how to do that and take action to learn and grow as you travel throughout your journey to success. Success is a journey. It's not a destination. It just doesn't happen overnight. You have to put effort in. We're going to show you how to do that. We're going to talk about the key elements for your inspirational plan for success in the wealth creation show tomorrow. And I'll see you tomorrow at 12:30. Until next time, guys, I'm Jim Parker for Fife Properties TV.